To be able to tell what has been the movement percentage, we need to make a few adjustments here. First of all, let's tidy up the update method. We want to get the percentage of the pointer in the screen. So let's make a nice variable to store this. So we're going to type vector2 screen coordinates, or better than this, we should type viewport coordinates. This is going to be a new vector2. So we need to type the value for x and for y. We can simply copy what we did here in the simple division and paste here as the first parameter, and the second parameter is going to be the value for y, okay, the vertical value. So I'm going to cut this from here and paste it here. Okay, so we are storing the coordinates here in the viewport coordinates. They're going to vary between 0 and 1. Now that we do this, we need to define the movement, okay, the variation of where we are clicking. So in the update method, we need to check if the mouse is clicking. So we're going to type here if input.getMouseButton. Okay, so this is going to is a variable that receives a button as a parameter. In our case, we can simply use 0. Okay, for the left mouse click or the touch in a screen. It works both ways, and this is going to return true every time the mouse is being held down. Okay, so every frame it's being held down, this is going to happen. Okay, so here we are clicking or touching the screen. Let's add a comment: clicking or touching logic. And what we do now is we need to check if click origin equals to 0, because if that does, it means we've just started touching. Okay, so we ask if click origin equals, so two equal signs, to vector2.0, then we're going to do something here. Okay, let's not worry about this right now. Actually, okay, we can start that. If click origin is 0 and we are touching, we're going to change the click origin to be viewport coordinates. Okay, so that means that this is going to be our reference now for where we started clicking. This is going to be our origin, and we're going to add here an else. Okay, so if it's different than 0, then that means we're going to calculate the variation that we did. Okay, so what we're going to do here is type vector2 variation equals to click origin, or better than this, viewport coordinates minus click origin. This is going to store the variation, and we can print that for you to see. So I'm going to type debug.log, then variation. This is going to print this vector. Okay, and another important thing, if we release the mouse, click origin needs to go back to vector2.0. So we need to add an else here. I'm going to add else, and then I'm simply going to add click origin equals to vector2.0. Okay, so we can already test this. We can test this debug log call here. So if we save this and we go to Unity, we wait for the compilation to be finished. Now I'm going to press play. Okay, the player is here. Notice that nothing is being printed in the console. If I click and I don't move the mouse, it's going to say 0, 0, because the variation is basically none. But if I move to another side, notice that the values, they start to increase. Since I'm moving only to the right, I see the variance only in the x value. Okay, pay attention to this. X is the first one and y is the second one, horizontal and vertical. Okay, so let's start again. If I click here in this position, let me remove this collapse option because it might be difficult for us to see. So if we start clicking, it's going to be on 0. If I move up, we just see a variance in the vertical value. If I move down, same thing. And if we move to different sides, we're going to see the variation on all axes. And this is very important. Okay, this is a very consistent mathematical logic that we are making in order to make the player to move. Okay, and now that we have these things, well, we should be ready to make the player perform its actual movement.